hollow green tubes, tubular stems. And I was trimming some of them back to get the ones that were needed to be removed. And they make the most amazing musical sounds. I mean, they play music. And so I began playing with them, and I was absolutely thrilled to have them sing to me. And then I watered the tops with a fine mist of water, and it sounded like a soundtrack for lightning, thunder, and rain. And all these tubular devices play music, so you can, wash them off with the water and play a symphony while you're watering your plants. It's a lot of fun. It really is, and the birds are just amazing. Everything is so interconnected now, and it feels like the divas and the spirits and the fairies are all returning and coming back to be with us. And you made a movie on that, didn't you?
Well, I have to admit, I'm 3/4 of the way through it, and I stopped. I closed my wallet. It just became so expensive. The fairy film, I need somebody to throw money at me because I'm up to the special effects, and when I saw it take an entire day for my editor to create an incredible thing that would last 3 seconds, I realized I was talking another 20, 30 grand, and I can't do it. I've made 4 movies. I've paid for them all myself, and the fairy film, oh, God, it's so beautiful, and I've got the whole timeline laid. But, the story of it, I actually met people that believe that they are of the fairy kingdom, and their homes, they really live very naturistic lives, and they're all very, very good in the gardens, but they don't feel healthy inside. They need to be outside.
Yeah,
I met the Queen of the Elves, who believes that she is absolutely the Queen of the Elves of this world at this time. And she took me on a long hike out to her throne, which is this old tree that's carved like a throne way out in one of the druid groves of England.
Wow.
And I was hauling my camera over my shoulder for quite some time, and then when we got there and I filmed her on her throne, it was small price. So people just took me to the most amazing places. I met a young girl who was galloping a racehorse in a crop circle. Now, crop circle researchers would probably want to shoot her and pull her down because, my God, you're going to wreck the lay of the wheat. But it turns out her family owned the farm it was on, so we couldn't say much. So I started talking to her, and she said, "What are you filming?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm filming a lot of crop circles, but I've already made that movie, and I'm talking to a lot of people about 2012, so I might do something with that. And I got invited to a fairy festival, so I might do something with that." And, when I went in 2008, I just took 40 rolls of film. And it was like I did as I was instructed by my guide.
Oh, wonderful.
And when I came back, I had all this footage. So I made the 2012 movie that won Best Feature Film at the International UFO Conference in 2009. And then last year, I made an update called Crop Circle's 2010 Update, The Wake Up Call. And that took Best Feature Film UFO or Related this year. And they also awarded it Best Musical Score within a UFO program, which was a huge compliment because it was all my harp music. I played harp and piano and sang for years and hurt my fingers. I switched harp strings. After 30 years, I went from organic strings to synthetic, and I actually shredded my skin on my fingertips.
Oh,
and
dear.
I'm still in gloves, Band-Aids, and it's been 6 years. But the interesting gift of wrecking my hands was that I had to stop playing music, and with all my, shall we say, creative frustration energy, I, after not being able to cure my hands, went off to England to lay in the crop circles to see if maybe the aliens would take me on the ship, fix my hands, and then spit me back out. And it hasn't happened yet, but I keep going back every summer and laying in the fields. And you had asked about the feeling, the energy of the centers compared to the outsides, by the way, of crop circles. I am always drawn to the center. And as long as it's not raining and muddy I am always drawn to the center, and I lay down. It's a natural instinct. And typically, though, now I'm hauling a huge camera backpack with a tripod and lots of gear. Now it's wonderful. I have a man hauling it, so I can go right to the center and lay down. But as we walk in, like 20, 30 feet before even getting in the formation, I'll look at him, and he'll be in the tractor line just to my left. And I'll know it right when I feel it. I'll say, I feel it. And almost every time, my realistic, analytical man has said, I feel it too. And it's always right at the same time.
Wow.
And I'll look over, and sure enough, he's got goosebumps that I can see from 20 feet away, or maybe 10 feet away, the other tram line, however wide the tractor wheels are, maybe 10 or 10 feet apart. But I can always see the goosebumps lift on his arm and on mine. And it happens before you even get in the formation.
Wow.
In most of them. I find that I forget to bring out my pendulum, which I always have with me. I just don't need it anymore. You know,
right.
you can feel it,
right.
being a sensitive human, but I feel it before I walk in, and then when you first look, the grandeur and the awe just, of course, just takes your breath away. But when I get toward the center, I can always feel it more in the center of the circles. It's almost like the whirling, whatever it is that lays the wheat, does typically leave a centerpiece that is most of the time some kind of pieces of wheat standing up in the middle. The ones that I was describing at Windmill Hill, oh my God, these centerpieces were out of this world. They were the most ornate, beaded, braided, twisted artworks. I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. And there were so many circles, and no two were alike. Wow. This is where it gets impressive. No two were alike, and there must have been, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 circles.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
Well, Patty, we're almost at the end of the hour, so maybe you could tell people where your site is, and they can read the reviews and see pictures of the crop circles and buy your movies, which are wonderful. I love
Thank
2012.
You.
We're in it now. It's
we're
one of
already
the
in
most.
It.
It's a wonderful
2012.
film.
We're already in it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I highly recommend that. And I know that what you bring to these movies and what you capture is priceless. So maybe you could share the information on how you can be located and so on and so forth. Absolutely.
Well, my website, like you said, is www.pattygreer.com, PATTYGREER. And on the website, you can see the 4 different movie trailers, which is a complimentary tour of the crop circles. One of the most amazing discoveries that I have on film is 2 balls of light actually laying a wheat field down at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
And millions of people have looked at this footage where you can actually see how quickly a crop circle is laid down by balls of light. But for some reason, I backed up the film and slowed it down, and I found a direct line of communication between the 2 balls of light, which to me is proof positive that these balls of light communicate and then lay down a pattern within seconds.
Huh.
And you can see it in my first and fourth movie. In my first movie, before I knew what I was doing, when I discovered it, I was screaming for days, but I stuck it at the end of the film. My recent movie called 2010 Update, The Wake Up Call, is I show it right in the beginning.
Oh,
I just go straight for the shock factor, and I show it 3 times because the first time people see it, they're like, yeah, right. The second time, you're like, oh, my God. And by the third time, you get it, that you are looking at a field of wheat, all standing up, and then 2 balls of light, which are some kind of higher dimensional energy that has planned a particular pattern. They communicate, and the pattern is immediately imprinted something that they have that is like a microwave energy, knowing that there is water underneath the land, that between the microwave and the water table under the ground, this pattern is instantly laid in the field. And some of the ones, I just have one more little story. There was one called, as people look at Crop Circle Connector or Silent Circle UK. These are places where you can look at all the pictures of crop circles. Look at the one that happened in late July called, it's the formation at Guy's Cliff. This is probably the most amazing one I saw all summer. The outside of the formation is these clear thorn kind of border, but on the inside it's almost like a secret star. Oh. And it's like almost invisible, but you can absolutely see it. So we went physically to it, and it was hours away from most of the crop circle, so a lot of the people didn't drive up there, but we went into it, and it was major hair stand-up, goosebumps, really outrageous. But nobody could find it because it was behind Guy's Cliff, which is this eerie, derelict, broken-down old, like a castle-looking house. And sure enough, it was a Masonic temple now.
Oh,
and they were having a meeting, and there were all these fancy cars lined up.
Oh.
And because I had driven 2 hours and I wanted to get in, my boyfriend's like, all the signs say private, and I said, keep going. So we get in. And I didn't know it was a Masonic temple, so I'm like, I open the door, and this one old guy comes out, and within 10 minutes, I don't know how, but he took us up to the clock tower where we looked out the window and saw the crop circle. We knew we had to just get around the place and down the river, so he gave us permission because you don't go on their property, and this place was so eerie. But he even took us into the Masonic temple, and I sat at the throne. I mean, I said, can I sit here? And my boyfriend was just kept whispering, I can't believe you're doing it.
Well,
everywhere
Patty,
we go.
We're out of time, so we're going to have to have you come back and share more stories with us, and you can finish that one too. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Amazing, yes.
It's always fun to talk with you, and we'll have you back, and we can catch up on the other crop circles that you're exploring too. Thanks a million, Patty.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.